Thank you so much for stopping by. Today is going to be an extremely important topic to me personally, and this is mental health in the healthcare field. So, for those of you who don't know, I've spent the last 10 years in the medical field, specifically the mental health field, and almost 4 of those years were in a hospital setting. Now, through my time, I've experienced some pretty crazy situations, some amazing times as well, connected with incredible individuals that unfortunately had to spend time on the unit that I worked on. But the interactions that I had with them were times that I wouldn't change for the world, honestly. But we need to look at the negative aspect of healthcare currently. So, for those of you out there who are healthcare workers, I'll be dropping some topics that you obviously have experienced. So, here I'm going to talk about the negative aspects of the healthcare field, though. So, this is me speaking up for all my incredible coworkers that I've worked with over the years, as well as the amazing individuals out there taking care of everyone. How many times have you gone into work short staffed? And if you work a normal job, you're saying like, oh yeah, I get it, it's difficult, we got to do a little bit of extra paperwork. It's like, no, there is a legal ratio of how many staff are supposed to be taking care of patients. Legally, there is not a ratio at most other jobs because you are taking care of a human life, and it is considered neglect when you do not have the proper resources, i.e. staff, nurses, nurses' aides, doctors, and it is neglect when you do not have those resources available for a certain amount of patients. So how many times have you gone in, units full, 22, 30 patients, but half staff? Now, most of us were like, yeah, one day we got this, it's not that big of a deal. But then it starts to turn into multiple times a week, multiple times a month, and then you realize that it's an actual trend. So whether you're understaffed, where you don't even have enough staff members on payroll to work full shifts, which is absolutely unacceptable, or which is even worse, is you have the few individual staff members who like to call in all of the time, but because of understaffing, they can't get rid of them. Other than understaffing, let's talk about abuse. All right. Abuse in healthcare is very serious and is very prevalent, and they abuse the staff. Now, on a daily basis, staff members, so nurses, nurses' aides, doctors, are verbally abused by people who are, let's just say, behaving like spoiled children with a boo-boo staying home from school. So when you think it's absolutely okay to order them around, scream at them, and treat them as subhuman subservients, not acceptable. And the staff have to bite their tongues, or else you get to complain and they lose their job, because absolutely so fair. So when we take into account all of the factors, not only do they have the responsibility of taking care of a human life, now you're adding more individuals to your workload. I don't know about you, but if you think at it from their perspective, say, hey, I've got 4 more people that I have to worry about dying today, maybe it'll change the perspective a little bit. Add in some verbal abuse, and now you have a truly hostile work environment, and it is unsafe. Now, sure, many times the abuse is verbal, but many of us know that it can get physical even in the medical side of the hospitals, not even including the psychological fields. All these things against you in healthcare, and the one thing that you want to do is help. So, just those two examples now have led to a plethora of issues. Now, extra hours you're working because you have an extra workload. Now that's putting stress on your family. You are sleeping less. You're eating poorly because you have less time in your day. So you're eating the nonsense food that we have in the hospital, which is absolutely terrible for you, believe it or not. And the amount of mental stress that you're under, taking care of a human life, now taking care of more people than you are supposed to legally, lack of sleep, that affects your mental health. Then the breakdown of your relationships when you don't have positive relationships outside of work, or your positive relationships outside of work are now becoming limited and the negatives are starting to overtake it. This is really where burnout happens. And I don't think I've met one person that has worked more than 4 months in the hospital who is not already burnt out. It is absolutely draining. And for everybody, we need to be conscious. We truly need to be conscious that the people that are taking care of us are not only trying their best, but are getting attacked and literally being given the worst case scenarios every time to be able to take care of a human being. So being outside of the healthcare field, or if you are being taken care of, I understand you're going through a rough time. No one wants to be in the hospital, but they want to do the best job for you. So you at least need to be considerate and remember that nurses, healthcare workers, they're all human beings. So if you take anything from what I said today, just like we don't mess with the people that make our food, we don't mess with the people that take care of us. And not only that, we take extra care of the people who take care of us. Thank you. Now, for this conversation, I'm actually going to take out the mental health field because it is a little bit of a wild variable when it comes to those types of situations. I want to talk about when someone goes in to get taken care of with no mental illness. This person that is taking care of you, they want to make sure that you don't die. And that's because they're a good person. Yes, the pay for nurses is okay. It's not what they deserve. They deserve a lot more. But nurses' aides definitely don't get paid enough. So when these people are taking care of you, you need to think they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. It is not all about the paycheck. Thank you so much for watching the video. Now, if you or anyone you know needs assistance due to mental illness or any difficulties in life, now we have a resource down below. It's relentless-nature/get help. And in this section, we include a bunch of free resources that go towards helping pay your bills, helping take care of your prescriptions, receiving counseling. We have the crisis lines all on there, and a bunch of other resources. Going through what you're going through can already be overwhelming enough. Then when you consider all the other things that you need to be able to pay for rent, food, take care of medications, doctor's appointments, all that extra stuff, it can just seem like an enormous mountain to climb. So we believe that the easier it is for you, the better and more hope. Hopefully it makes it 1,000 times easier to get everything that you need. All the resources are free. So, and another fantastic option on top of that is that you can share your story or talk about a topic with us so that we can put it on here, or you can end up being on our channel. And well, the purpose of that is your story matters. Your story can be the difference of somebody believing in that they can get better or not. So, to all of you out there, wish you the best on your recovery. We're here for you. And if you're supporting others on their recovery journey, don't give up on them because they would never give up on you. And we are all here for each other. Keep being relentless.